Today we're going to look at BrainPOP Make a Movie. Make a Movie is a great resource to have our students share with us what they know about a topic and use their creativity at the same time. So we're going to start with ClassLink Launchpad, and from ClassLink Launchpad we want to make sure that we're using BrainPOP SSO. SSO is the single sign-on, and what this is going to do is it's going to put us into our BrainPOP account that syncs with Google. So that's that single sign-on component. There's a key in the upper right-hand corner, and it says BrainPOP SSO. We want to make sure that we're choosing this over our regular school BrainPOP account. So if I click on that, it's going to take me into my BrainPOP account. I know I'm in my BrainPOP account because up in the upper right-hand corner, I see my username. We want to encourage the students to look for that to make sure that they know they're in their account. If they're in a generic account that says like GB and then their school name, then they're not going to have access to Make a Movie because it's the creation piece that needs to have the ability to save. So today I'm going to go ahead and go into the Ada Lovelace video. Ada Lovelace has a lot of fun information about her. We could do this with biographies. You could do this with any topic. So we're just going to pick Ada Lovelace for today. We have a lot of different things that we can do. Make a map, make a movie, and creative coding are the three most popular creation pieces in BrainPOP. So today we're going to do make a movie. So once I click in that, I'm actually going to be given the opportunity to make my own BrainPOP movie with Mobie in there and all the images that come from the movie. So when I start, I can either answer a letter that exists. So these are the choices. You can have the students choose something that already exists, or you can have them write a new letter. So if I write a new letter, that's my scene 1, and I'm going to go into write the letter. When I write the letter, it automatically puts my name into the greeting of the letter. So it says, Dear Lisa and Mobie, and it'll say that for each of the students. It's nice and personalized. And then I'm just going to say, who is Ada Lovelace? Keep it real simple today. Another thing that's fun is you can actually tell the students to put your teacher's name from and then put Mrs. Smith. That way the students are creating the movie to give the information to their teacher. But you can do whatever you want to there. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm done. I have my letter here. I can go back in and change it if I want to, if I spelled something wrong or I want to change it anyway. The other thing I can do on the left side is I can add sound. So I'm going to read the letter because that's what happens in the movies. I can either use a computer voice, so I'm going to let you hear what that looks like. To use the computer voice, you do have to have typed in because it's going to read that. It also, since it's reading, if there are words that are spelled wrong or the incorrect homonym, for example, it's going to read the wrong word. So I can choose a male or a female voice. I'm going to go ahead and choose a female voice for now, and then I'll play that so you can hear what that sounds like.
Dear Lisa and Mobie, who is Ada Lovelace? From a friend.
Okay, so if you like that, you can feel free to keep that. I'm going to go ahead and keep that today. Down on the bottom, I'll choose Save. And one of the nice features of Make a Movie also is that it saves occasionally. So frequently, actually, it saves. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into scene number 2. Scene number 1 is exactly how I want it to be. So now all the different BrainPOP images pop up from this movie. I can click on See More, and then there are more options for me there. So to introduce this, I can maybe start from the very beginning, and I'll start with Ada Lovelace as a baby. I can bring that picture out there. It just has a plain old white background for now, but if I come over to the left, I see other options, and I can add a different background. I can make it a nice colored background. That looks very nice, but I also have BrainPOP backgrounds. So let's say maybe I want them to be standing like in a house or in front of a house, and they give me quite a few choices, and I can see more choices there. But I think I want it to be somewhat historically correct. So maybe I'll pick that background. Looks kind of similar to what I saw in the movie. And I could make it look like Ada and her parents are standing in front of a house. And then I can add Mobie if I want. I can add other things if I want. If I want to add another tree, I can go back into build. I've got all the videos from here, but maybe I just want to add a tree. So I'm going to type in tree there, and it's going to give me lots of different trees. And so maybe I want to bring another tree out there. Okay, if I don't like it, I can get rid of it. If you feel like maybe there's a tree that is, more appropriate, so I can add a tree, and it looks like it's been there the whole time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go into scene 2 and show how I would continue to build. I'm going to get rid of how I searched for a tree, and I'm going to go back. I'm just going to close that out there, and then it's going to take me back to the Ada Lovelace pictures. All right, so I know the next thing that happens to her as she's growing up is, as a child, she was sick. So maybe I want to focus on that. So I'm going to bring that picture out, and I'm going to go into adding a background. And instead of the house, maybe she is in a bedroom. So I'm going to put that in there and look and see if there are any bedrooms. Here's one that kind of looks like a bedroom. And I can bring that picture of Ada Lovelace around, put that bed in there nicely for her. And now it looks like she's laying in bed. Again, you saw how I made it bigger by grabbing those corners and making it bigger or smaller to fit the background that I have. All right, so I would continue to do this along the story of learning about Ada Lovelace. Now, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to go back to the Ada Lovelace images. One of the favorite things for students is to add Mobie. So when I click on search BrainPOP images, Mobie is the very first thing that pops up. So maybe I'm going to have Mobie in the bedroom with Ada Lovelace here as he's looking at her and maybe being a little sad. But on the left side, I can continue to click more, and I have lots of different BrainPOP images. They just keep coming and coming. Now, when you see this plus or this play symbol, that is going to be an animated Mobie. If I don't see that play symbol, this is just a Mobie just standing there. So maybe we're going to bring Mobie in here. Looks like he's kind of dressed like a doctor, like maybe he's visiting Ada Lovelace when she's sick, and he looks like he could be dressed like a doctor with his shirt and tie on there. So we're just going to go with that for right now. It's just an image. If I wanted to bring him in doing something, like let's say, we'll bring him in, that's what it would look like with that animated image. All right, but we don't want him running across our bed. So that's kind of how you'd start building. Now, when you do things with the students, they're so used to always having to write. They seem to always be expecting that the teacher is going to ask them to do a lot of writing. When we do make a movie, they're going to notice that there are annotation features. So I don't spend a whole lot of time teaching the students the annotation features, because when we go to the movies, unless we're going to see a foreign film that has the subtitles, we don't typically go to a movie to read the entire time. So we want the students to use as few texts in here as possible. But we can use vocabulary words. So I might want to say that she had a fever, so I could use that to do a keyword that was in there. Probably not going to fit in this case, but we can still just leave that in there. We can also have regular text, and when I click on this, that text is this text can be moved anywhere on the screen, and it can be made bigger and it can be made smaller. The label that is the black with the white font can only stay on the left side, or I can bring it over to the right side. But that's all I have for choices, is the left or the right. When I choose text, it can go anywhere on the page. And if I click on editing this, I can choose different colors of font. Okay, then if I click the trash can, that's going to go away. I'm going to do the same thing with that, get rid of that. So I don't spend a whole lot of time showing students these. If they are interested in exploring, they learn very quickly how to use those. right, so now I'm going to go back to scene 2. And we've done the building where we add the pictures. We've added the background of the house. Now we've talked about annotating. Now this time I'm going to do adding sound. So this is where, like with the letter, we used the computer voice. But this time I'm going to record my voice, and I'm going to tell a little bit about what is going on. So if I choose record my voice, Ada Lovelace lived with her mom and her dad as a baby. Shortly after she was born, her dad left the family. All right, then I'll go ahead and save that. I do have the option of playing it and listening to it back. If I don't like it, I can record again. I'm going to go, or I can just trash it totally and start all over later. But I'm going to go ahead and save that for the sake of time. And I would do the same thing with my third scene. So what I have here is I have my scene 1 is my letter. This is a transition. Then I have scene 2 with Ada and her parents. Then I have another transition. And then in scene 3, I have Ada being ill and being tended to by Dr. Mobie. I can keep adding up to 20 scenes. Each scene will last as long as it needs to. So in scene 2, I was speaking for 8 seconds. So that scene will last the entire time I was speaking. Scene 3, I don't have any speaking parts in this yet. I haven't recorded my voice. So it defaults to 4 seconds. So however long the scene needs to be, it will stay on the screen that entire time that you're recording your voice. So when I get all finished, I'm going to go ahead and click save for right now. And then I'm going to preview my movie. The neat thing about previewing our movies is they start off with the BrainPOP logo. There's our letter.
Dear Lisa and Mobie, who is Ada Lovelace. From a friend.
All right, then it goes right into scene number 1.
Ada Lovelace lived with her mom and her dad as a baby. Shortly after she was born, her dad left the family.
Then it goes into scene number 3. And there wasn't any sound. And then it ends with Mobie and telling you that this was a BrainPOP video. So it looks fantastic when it's all finished. The kids really enjoy it, and they make great videos. If you introduce just some of the basic features, your students are going to explore, and they're going to find a lot of ways that they can express their knowledge on a topic for you. All right. If you have any questions, please contact your library media specialist or your tech integrator, and they will be glad to help you bring more of the BrainPOP features into your classroom.